What I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford, a Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity, and really ready to grab.
And it's exciting. You know, Terence is freakishly strong. He can punch. He's got good crack. He can fight from both ways. Orthodox southpaw. He can fight at mid-range, close range, outside. And he can fight going both ways. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you.
All right, guys, listen up. Floyd Mayweather's name still shakes the boxing world, but now Terence "Bud" Crawford is stepping right into the spotlight. Mayweather dominated his era, no doubt, but Crawford's recent victories, especially over Canelo, have got people buzzing. Is it time to put Bud above Floyd? The debate is fiery, and fans aren't holding back. Everyone wants to know, does Crawford finally deserve that number one spot?
Like what?
Like what?
What is that don't know?
He is a two-time undisputed champion. Floyd wasn't a one-time undisputed champion. So he has all the belts in one division and then moved up and got all the belts in another division. I don't know if that's ever happened in the history of boxing.
Yes, and he beat the man.
And he beat the man. Let's give Terence Crawford his flowers because everything he said he was going to do,
he done it.
Let's be real, Mayweather built his empire on pure skill, unmatched defense, and a perfect record. Love him or hate him, nobody could break his style. But Crawford isn't here to play second best. This man has cleaned out division after division, proving he's dangerous no matter who stands across the ring. People are saying he's got that killer instinct Mayweather never had to show. And honestly, they might be right.
Says will be his final fight. I actually believe him this time, Max. What's his legacy?
Well, he's one of the great pure boxers who ever lived. He is never cheated himself. He always was in condition. He had no off nights. That's why he won every fight. It's one of the reasons. Not because he's one of the best to ever do it, and because he was always prepared over a very long amateur and pro career. Amazing. Another reason is he carefully selected opponents, knew when and where and when and who to fight, and basically changed the paradigm in boxing. I'll translate. He flipped the script. I mean, really, boxing is basically, and this is just the way it is, and I'm a huge boxing fan, and I make no apologies about it, but it is fans and networks essentially exploiting fighters. That's how it works. We want to, and we demand a level of dedication and risk taking with your health that's insane, right? Like someone's getting their head beaten every which way, and if you quit, you don't have heart. You can't be a great fighter, which is true, by the way. It's a blood sport, and Floyd, and usually fighters wind up broke and punch drunk. And Floyd Mayweather flipped the script. He said, "No, I'm not going to let the game play me. I'm going to play."
Shane Mosley stepped into the conversation, giving Bud his flowers. He admitted Floyd had the style, but Crawford? He's got that knockout energy. Mosley even said Mayweather couldn't sit down on his punches the way Bud does. That's a brutal truth fans have been whispering for years. Imagine Mayweather's slick defense against Crawford's relentless pressure. Now that's a fight people would pay anything to see.
He has the opportunity to win the belts. Saul only has an opportunity to defend them. Terence Crawford has an opportunity to be in a 5 division and the only person to win all 4 belts in 3 separate weight divisions. Why is Saul taking this fight? And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's some things in life more important than just the belts. And that 20-year career that Terence Crawford made, that all that he has, is very valuable. Very, very valuable. He had 1 foot out the game. And if he can be the man to defeat him, because remember, if Saul beats him, Terence Crawford was the first man to get all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions. Yes, I beat that champion. Yes, I beat the multiple division champion. And
it's not just Mosley. Andre Ward, the legend himself, is putting serious respect on Crawford's name. Ward knows greatness when he sees it, and he's not shy about saying Bud's resume is stacking up. Still, critics argue Mayweather faced tougher names in his prime. But hold on, every generation says their era was tougher. Truth is, Crawford beat the best available, just like Floyd did back in the day.
Have to disagree because Floyd Mayweather toyed with Canelo. Like, he literally toyed with him. He didn't get hit at all. Not one time. And Crawford, yeah, he's more of a fighter, boxer. Mayweather's more of a boxer. But I have to disagree. I think Mayweather is much more superior than Crawford. Not just because he beat me and it was a close fight, whatever, or that I stepped in the ring with Mayweather, but I really feel that technically Mayweather's a better fighter.
You faced Mayweather, you were 23 years old, I believe?
23.
And
just turned 23.
Yeah, you just turned 23. You didn't have a lot of seasoning. I know people say, oh, he had a lot of fights. Well, you didn't have an amateur career. You started boxing at 15 as a pro, right?
Yeah.
So you gave up the weight concession. You gave up the rehydration clause. And I always thought if you would have faced him, with some more seasoning, it would have gone differently.
He deserved the position in that moment because, Floyd Mayweather is one of the best fighters in the boxing history, and he deserved the position in that moment. I try to make history, and I try to put myself in the very top in that moment. But for some reason, doesn't happen, right? And yeah, like you say, if I had that fight with Miguel Angel Cotto first and all these kind of fights, and then fight Mayweather, maybe go in the different way. But we never gonna know. We never gonna know. And I learned what from that fight, and like I say,
Now let's talk about Canelo. Floyd outclassed him when Canelo was young, no doubt. But Crawford? He took down the experienced, prime version. That's not the same thing. Fans are losing their minds comparing those wins. Does beating Canelo at his peak mean more than Floyd's win over a rookie version? That's where the debate explodes, because depending on your answer, Crawford might already be ahead.
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era.
All right, guys, here's where it gets spicy. Roy Jones Jr. threw his voice into the mix. And when Roy speaks, boxing listens. He said Crawford's ability to switch styles, keep pressure, and knock guys out puts him in a different lane. That's massive praise from a man who defined dominance in multiple divisions. If Roy's co-signing Bud, that's a stamp of approval the boxing world can't ignore.
Surprised about his power. When you attack Floyd, he has a way of making you run into it and you feel the power, like a collision. But when you kind of box away from him, yes, he has power, but not like he does when you're trying to attack him. He's not weak. He's strong. Like I say, he trains hard and he does all the things you're supposed to do as a fighter or as a champion.
But not everyone is handing Crawford the crown. Timothy Bradley, another Hall of Famer, reminded fans that Mayweather faced a murderer's row of talent: Pacquiao, De La Hoya, Cotto, Mosley. Crawford's got names, but some argue they're not as iconic. And that's the heart of this argument: resume versus dominance. Do you value Floyd's unbeaten streak against legends, or Bud's destructive cleanouts across divisions?
Everybody talk about Shane Carney. But what was the issue? Shane started hesitating. Why did Shane hesitate? Because he took the best shot and he stood there, held on tight, and on top of that, made Shane feel his strength, and came back out like nothing happened the previous round.
Right.
But still stone cold. Right. And then Shane ends up being the one hesitating, waiting, and the fight get away from him.
I'm saying Shane hit me with a hell of a shot. Okay. Actually, 2 shots. Okay. But even in that particular round, what I said to Shane was this. I was like, you said something to him when you grabbed him. I said, you got to kill me. Oh, shit. I wasn't ready, bro. I said, that was a good one. I said, that was a good one, but you got to kill me. Wow. I said, you got to kill me. And then I'm not going to lie.
Let's not forget the cultural weight Mayweather carried. He wasn't just a boxer, he was a brand. Money Mayweather rewrote the business of boxing, becoming bigger than the sport itself. Crawford? He's quieter, hungrier, and doesn't care about the flash. He just wants to fight and crush. That difference in personality makes the comparison even tougher. It's skill versus spectacle, substance versus showmanship.
Still fighter today.
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Tyke Shakur, Devin, Boots.
Boots is one of my favorite.
It's a lot of them, and they skillful in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on is Bud. Because me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing. About basketball, wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. You gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So skillful, yes, but this and this, it's different, man. There's not a lot of guys like that out there currently. There's a lot of guys that talk it, but until you get in that real fire, I'm not saying a guy you fighting a guy you should beat. I'm saying a guy that it's a 50-50 matchup. We don't really know what you have. You don't even really know what you have.
And here's the kicker. Boxing fans thrive on debates like this. The internet is on fire, YouTube commentators are breaking it down, and Twitter won't shut up. Every clip of Crawford's knockouts gets compared to Mayweather's slick highlights. One man was untouchable, the other is unstoppable. So who's really greater? That depends on what matters most to you, perfection or destruction.
We just seen Terence Crawford create greatness and beat Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
From Terence Crawford, it's a great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people called me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there. The power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing? Why are we still in the game?
I get it. Andre, always good to talk to you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're wrapping this up. Mayweather may forever be the best ever, but Terence Crawford is forcing us to reconsider the throne. From Mosley to Ward, from Roy to Bradley, legends are weighing in, and none of them can agree. One thing's for sure, Bud Crawford is no longer chasing history. He is history. And whether you like it or not, the debate between him and Floyd isn't ending anytime soon.